All right, welcome back everyone to Windy JD&D. It has been a little bit of craziness for me anyway, trying to get ready for a school year as I see my students for the first time today. So, yay.
Yeah.
What's better way to warm yourself up to it than to play a little bit of D&D? And so that's what we're going to be doing here today. So we're playing Wild Beyond Witchlight, and except we're very much beyond the campaign setting at this point in that time now too. See, we started off in a world called Wesmia. They portaled their way. They actually skipped most of the carnival and made their way into the Feywild fairly quickly, where they learned of this marshy land that was through a number of interactions, including meeting goblins who hoarded keys, um, and really long scarfed rabbits or herringon that happened to also carry a brand that they then procured for themselves, and now calling themselves, the party now calls themselves the Red Brands. And they met for the person who is in charge of that particular area of the Feywild, this area called Prismere, the region called Hither, where they met. That would have been Bavlorna Blightstraw, or Slackjaw, as most of the others called her. They interacted with her unfavorably after also trying to start a revolution amongst the bullywugs. And Slackjaw ended up leaving Hither. So the next spot that they ended up going to was Thither, trying to find a way back home or what have you, having picked up a new person with their group in Ender. In Erebus. They carried on into Thither, meeting a variety of more characters, including a unicorn that basically lived only around a pool. They met dancing mushroom-like creatures that provided Erebus with a little bit of a boost for a short period of time. They started forest fires by accident / wild magic / Dottie's craziness, and
Only you can start a forest fire.
and they carried on to finally meet Will of the Feywild, who is as some sort of leader of the lost children in Thither, who then managed to convince the group to try and salvage the rest of the children that were enslaved by this region's hag, known to them as Granny Nightshade. And that interaction did not go well with mimics and tin soldiers, etc., etc. The group did not fare so great through this. Will didn't fare too badly, and that was part of point of contention. See, unfortunately, Elrad ended up being captured in the whole works after having met Granny Nightshade unexpectedly a little bit. They were not expecting to run into her where they did. Nonetheless, the remnants of the party made their way back to Little Oak, which was kind of the home of the lost children. And after a little bit of hemming and hawing and frustrating, particularly by Scraggs, as Scraggs lost their holy symbol in the process, they decided amongst them and these lost children that it was imperative that they recover any other lost children, as well as Elrad, who had been captured. And so off they went to return to the scene of the crime at Loomlurch, being the home of the hag. Upon arriving, on their way, one challenge erupted for Dottie. Dottie is now a hairless halfling.
Oh yeah.
I forgot about that.
Dottie was normally a very brightly pink-haired halfling, but her hair started to fall off about an hour into their trip back to Loomlurch. So that's something that they're going to have to contend with somewhere along the way. Nonetheless, they made their way back into Loomlurch through a side door to a kitchen, where they were able to free a couple of people, including what seems to have been an adventurer that was jailed in underneath the kitchen, and they also managed to go up into or find what seemed to be the dwelling place of somebody. Maybe it wasn't so much of a dwelling place. There was a dollhouse there, and that's actually where Scraggs managed to capture relocate their holy symbol. So that's pretty good. Meanwhile, they were doing so very, very sneakily and admirably so. For in the tower that they were inspecting, remained a particularly dangerous creature uh, who had been spending some time here recovering. Now, as they were about to leave the kitchen, they started interacting a little bit more with the oven. But just before they were to open up the oven, having made their first bunch of noise, sure enough, a creature appeared to them. And we're going to bring that creature into view right now, if I can. Where is my... There we go. There's my token. Found it. All right. Boom. Alrighty. And she is immediately going to start doing something to attack. So, you guys turn as you hear from the other room. What have we here? And looking back, you see the very familiar visage of Slackjaw, known to you as Slackjaw, but it is Bavlorna Blightstraw that sits in front of you at this time. And so with that,
All right.
I do believe that it is an appropriate time for us to start thinking about rolling some initiative.
Yes.
And I'm going to do this.
Oh, Dottie.
Yeah. Does being able to re-roll nat ones count for initiative?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to
Yeah,
make
it does.
sure.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Let's get some maps
That's a
going
little
here
better.
too.
Yeah.
Puzz to the ah. Alrighty. Yeah, that is a bit better. Let's see what I roll. Let's see here. Where's my initiative button? Right there. Now, to be clear, once we have Elrad able to join us, I will do a port back to in time to see what he's been up to. But we'll start here for now, at the very least. Scraggs, do you have the ability to roll initiative from the location you're at right now, or do you want me to do that for you? I'm hoping that Scraggs can hear me. They've been kind of sketchy on the train station, so... Oh, cool. I rolled really high. Look at that. I guess I should start planning some things. Oh, I'm going to need some dice here. All right. I think I will see what I can do about rolling for Scraggs here. They're a little bit... Hang on a sec. Let's send them a quick message here.
By the way, all of you would have had the temporary hit points from my
That's right.
Oh, awesome.
leadership, so that's +8 on your normal HP.
That
All
helps
right.
a squishy sorcerer very much.
Yes.
Helps us
Squishy
squishy rogue
sorcerer.
too.
I am expecting wild magic.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. That's how it's going to roll.
Gonna
That's what's going to happen. Okay, and I need to also do that. Now, chat, if you felt so inclined, you can do some rolling too. Alrighty. Let's see here. It feels to me like we might be just a little bit disconnected here from Scraggs, because, you know, why not have technology have all the problems? Why not? Why not? That's okay. This gives me a chance to actually zoom in on our battle map because it's really small on the stream. There we go. Now we're talking. That's a little bit better. But let's kind of give you a bit of a layout of the room while we're at it, too. We'll start off with the fact that you are in a kitchen. There is a... oh, yeah, and now we definitely lost Scrags. That's okay. They'll be here soon. But there was a jail, after a fashion, a floor kind of trap door that is now empty because the dwarf that was captured in there has now escorted the child that was pressed into service here in the kitchen. The oven is still hot, and that's what you guys were about to check. But aside from that, I mean, there's regular kitchen implements in this space. Top level, that from where you were, Slackjaw is now kind of blocking you away from. That is where that dollhouse was, along with what appeared to be an eyrie that would allow some form of communication between you and, or sorry, not between you, between Granny Nightshade and her two sisters, who you now know as Slackjaw, but also another one called Endlin. And that they were concerned about a Jabberwocky and something about their other sister. And that's about as... There was a good deal of lore that was dropped in the last session. So if there's any questions about any of that lore, you can all certainly ask me that stuff too. But I think we should expect Scrags here and Elrad here any second now. Hopefully, with the technology working for them in their favor.
Good luck.
I gotta roll something here. Nope, you're lucky. Just gonna say that. You're lucky right now.
Right.
You know what? I'm just gonna do it. Let's just do this. Let's just go straight to it. We're gonna go with... Oh, yeah. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah. Who does she... She sees Erebus, like, right away. And she recognizes Erebus because Erebus is somebody that she once had trapped. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. She's going to start by attacking Erebus. Oh, she rolls really good, too, doesn't she?
Where are these rolls? Oh, yeah, I see them.
Oh, that's a GM roll. That's not fair. I can't do that. I have to re-roll it. That's not fair. Why is it only on GM rolls? That seems really, really, really weird to me. It says... There we go. There we go. No, I want it there. Okay, sorry. That was not it. Then here's the actual roll. It's a nat 20.
Oof.
Should I go with the original roll, which was just really good, but not quite as good as that?
Sure.
Nah. Because otherwise this is going to be a very short encounter. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay, it was a 25. I don't know if I can show that to you. It was a 25 on the original roll, so it was like one off the crit. And it's still 18 points of necrotic damage. As you just kind of lock eye contact, and what you feel is this... you see it. Dottie, you and Scraggs don't see too much of it, but you do see that something just seems like his Erebus's skin just starts to sallow. But Erebus, what you see is this black energy seem to come straight at your eyes. Yeah, so you take 18 points of damage.
All right.
But the good news is, it is also your turn.
All right. Erebus leaps at the door. He slams it shut, and he's going to try and jam it.
Okay. How are you going to try and jam it?
I'm going to use one of my two knives. I'm going to try and pin it to the door frame.
Alrighty. Okay.
I don't know what kind of roll I'm gonna go for, but
That's a good question. I'm gonna say let's go for oh, that's a tough call. Just go for an attack.
all right. Natural 20.
Natural 20. Well then, okay, so yeah, you take your dagger and you're able to find. Actually, what you managed to do is you managed to actually see the lock, go in at the lock, and just go straight through the lock and into the jamb of the door. You feel like you have completely disabled the lock and made everything now dependent upon that dagger keeping it closed. That's the sense that you've got. Because that's the 26 even with that too. So
Yeah. I'm going to turn to the others and say, all right, now it's time to leave.
All
Now that
right.
we have, and I'll say a little louder, maybe so she can hear through the door. Oh. Remember, we're something along the lines of we're rendezvousing base like to the east or something. No, west. I think west is the right, or is it flipped in this world? I forgot.
no. It's the sense that you get if you're going to go for directions is back to the pool side or to the garden side.
Garden side.
Garden side. Okay. All right.
I think, right? Because that would be left on the map.
That would be left on the map. Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So roll a deception
And then
check.
all right. Deception. Guess what? Turns out Erebus has pretty good deception.
Yeah, he does.
Nice.
With a 25. What is that on even on the dice? That's a
beautiful.
19 on the dice too. Wow, guys. We're all gonna roll hot today, apparently. Okay.
Yeah. Rocket tag.
Yeah, and you still have your movement, so go for it.
All right, I'm gonna bonus action sneak, and actually no, I'm gonna bonus action dash, and just start moving.
You still have pass without a trace up.
No, that's what caused us to get caught. It was dropped.
That's right. You're absolutely right. Okay,
That's
so
correct.
you're gonna dash where?
Um,
Because you still have movement, too. So
Yeah.
like a dash means that you got 60 feet of movement.
yeah, I'm gonna get her into these roots.
Love it. Okay. That's gonna bring us to Dottie, I guess then.
I will follow Erebus.
And as I leave, I want to or I guess that's up to them. Yeah, I'll leave that to them.
Okay.
Just thinking of like making sure that it doesn't look like we exited through that door,
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
Oh, that's a good thought.
but that's weird.
I'll like jump really loudly on the opposite side of the room, so it sounds like I'm going that way, and then I'll silently make my way over to where Erebus is going.
So can we call this an action to do so? So that you get your movement and you get your action to make the sound and run out?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so then you have how much feet?
I think 25 as a halfling.
25. So you can get to about there on your regular movement. Is that far enough for your jump?
Let's see here.
I mean, if you dash, you can just jump. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah, but then if you dash and you get all the way out here, then you only get this far. Like, you only do that movement. I don't know if you saw it. I hope you saw it.
Okay. In that case, instead of running over, can I just like throw something on the other side of
Yeah.
the room?
at the door. Something
Yeah,
at the
sure.
door.
Yeah.
There's an apple on the table. Grab it.
Okay, I will throw said apple across the room and make it sound like I'm over there.
All right. and then you will also dip out. So hang on, you were. Let's do
And
this.
just to
This
sell it, I'll be like, "Oh shit!" And then I'll silently go the other way.
way. Nice. And that would get you your 50 feet, I think, to right there. Let's say Scrags follows.
Yeah.
Where then you know what? We don't have to do much for the initiative there because of that really awesome use of the dagger. Where are you guys gonna run to?
Deep into the forest as we can. We're gonna get into the forest and somewhere to hide.
Okay, I want you to roll
maybe-
for me. Then your stealth checks.
All right. I still have advantage, I think, but I don't have the +10.
That's right.
18.
I'll roll for Scrags here. 17 for Scrags plus whatever they got, so that's a good sign.
6.
If she's
Yeah, I went for a group stealth check, and thankfully others rolled pretty decently. So, you guys start running across the roots and start just trying to getting right the heck out of there. As you go by,
cue ball.
you guys get a little bit closer to this circle of red mushroom-like things that you guys noticed before and kind of circumvented. You get a little bit closer to that than you mean, Dottie. And one of them wiggles a little bit. And you see eyes kind of pop out, and really beady, angry-looking eyes just kind of emerge from under the soil a little bit. But they're just also not very wide open. It's like they're still they're trying to wake up or something like that. And you just dip right out of there. You just run right away.
Okay.
But you guys get to this forest fairly quickly.
That was a close one.
Oh, but
Roll perception check for me.
perception.
I will
alright.
give you advantage.
Perception. 19. Advantage. would give me-
Advantage,
yeah,
it's
it's
still
nine.
19. That's still pretty good. Yeah, so looking back, as you get to the forest, you kind of look back over your shoulder, Erebus, just to kind of see if you are being given chase at all. You don't notice anything. You look back up to that tree that you guys were just in. Nothing seems to be... It's like you're running away from nothing.
I feel like we're forgetting something.
Well,
Oh,
we were going
Elrad.
to- Oh, well, yes, but also you were supposed to set everything on fire. Kind of disappointed in you. Just kidding.
You feel like you're safely under the cover of forest and trees now. You're still somewhat close to Loomlurch, if you want to be. If you don't want to be, and you want to just get right the heck out of there, you can.
Man, if only we knew in some magical way the fate of our draconic friend.
So, give me then. Tell you what, let me do a couple of rolls because he was. Let's see here. Let's do some rolls. Okay. Sorry, I'm going through the story I had in my head, and I'm just letting the dice do the decisions, you know. Let's see here. Okay.
I am down to my last weapon. I've been losing them very
Yeah, like
quickly.
there's no tomorrow. Right. Okay. Okay. And that does that. Okay, cool. And... Ugh. And I'm... Ugh.
Oh,
Okay.
and Scorching Ray is 120 feet, so I would like to lob that at Loomwort.
On your way out?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I'm changing the dice rolls now. Okay.
Sorry.
Where?
Could we have, when we were like leaving, could I have like splashed oil on the roots and she just...
Yeah, and you're gonna just tell a director to shoot at that?
Yeah. That was kind of the plan.
Yeah, it was.
Sorry, it's been.
It's been a couple weeks, right?
Yeah.
Okay, give me 1 second here. I gotta read Scorching Ray.
My brain was in survival
Yep.
mode, like, get away from
Yep.
stuff. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so you dump some oil, which you definitely have. You toss out these. Roll an attack, then, Dottie.
Okay.
You got 120 with your spellcasting modifier, so it's just a regular Scorching Ray attack.
Awesome. So I really want this to hit, so if it doesn't, I will use Seeking Spell, and if that doesn't work, I will use Tides of Chaos. Does that order make sense?
Yeah, I'm all with it. I'm for
Okay.
Let's see here. It's a bit of a distance that you're shooting from, but you still are able to hit it.
Okay.
There's no Seeking Spell required.
Awesome.
A wall is pretty easy to hit.
Yeah, and immediately you see the oil that's been laid out, and you let your 3 blasts go. The first one misses, but the other 2 hit. And it actually isn't so much that it misses. The first one actually just hits a root, and then you're like, oh, and just kind of do a little minor adjustment, and it just kind of zips in behind. And just...
Right.
Small little blaze now starting at the root of this of the middle of the 3 towers of Loomlurch. And there it sits burning. And you sit there and you watch it for a little bit. And now that it's on fire, it rolls. That was a... Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. I need to check one more out.
Here's my wild magic roll, just in case. We're good.
Oh, it's not necessary. Oh yeah, no, it is, because you rolled you did a spell.
I did a level spell, yeah.
You did a thing. Right. Okay. What can... Yeah, no. Okay, cool. So, all right. So, how is she gonna do that? Interesting. Yeah, it continues burning for a few minutes. Before
in that
you finally see
we're getting some distance and
watching
some shadows.
So like if you're running into the forest still to try to make a little bit of a distance, all you can see is smoke off in the back at the source of Loomlurch. You can still see, you can still see all the tops of all 3 towers from quite a distance because it's a tall structure, but the you're now also seeing some smoke kind of forming and floating up to the top of the trees where you can actually see it. And fairly quickly, you hear some... fairly quickly, by like about 2 or 3 minutes, you actually hear some shouting and some voices. And then a couple moments later, and the smoke stops.
What do you think that means?
I suppose they had ways to put out fire. That makes sense. They live in a tree.
I could set it on fire again.
Could set the entire forest on fire.
I already did that once.
No, I don't think that'd be worth it.
No.
But they saw us get off, most assuredly, or at least think we did. What do you think Elrad is up to? Do you think he's made it out, or was captured, or never escaped in the first place?
It's hard to say. I was hoping the fire would maybe give some sort of distraction for him to get out if he hasn't already. Oh, I have an idea. I can see if he's within 100 feet. I know it's a long shot, but we can always test it out.
No, you're more than 100 feet away from Loomlurch.
Well, I just meant to see if he's in the forest running somewhere.
Gotcha, okay. Just checking.
I'll just be like, hey, Elrad, are you in the forest?
No response.
Okay. Yeah, I figured.
I'm going to we got some good information, but we didn't accomplish very many of our goals beyond that.
No.
You want to heighten the risk for even greater reward, or you want to get out while the getting's good?
Well, the kids are out.
That's true.
I just don't know how to get our friend out of there.
And
Without
with that,
two Hags.
and with that, we're gonna do a shift over to Elrad. Hey there, buddy.
Oh
Hi.
yeah.
Power is the worst. But I'm here.
All right. All right. Well, then why don't we shift our gears? We're gonna rewind ourselves back in time, in the neighborhood of 8 hours. So, where we left off with Elred, you guys had made your way through Loomlurch and started off not so great, accidentally killing a goblin who was going to introduce you to Granny Nightshade in a much more collegial way. And then you had to deal with mimics, and Elred didn't do so well. And then you guys had to deal with tin soldiers, and so on and so forth, until the point where most of your party almost died, and people were being pulled out to safety by Dottie. But before she could get to Elred, a tree started eating him. Until Granny Nightshade came out and told the tree to put him down. And then after that, the interaction between Elred and Granny Nightshade was much of an interrogation side of things, where she would smack him around a little bit, trying to get some information out of him, and not get much. And that's basically where we left off, was with her smacking him back to unconsciousness. And so now that we're there, we're rewinding ourselves a little bit to the next time Elred regains consciousness. And so Elred, when you regain consciousness, you actually see that you are, I don't know why it's not showing up on my map, but you do see it. Let's see if I can find you. There you are. There you are. You find yourself in the same space, one of the earlier spaces that you were in, where you were actually having that large fight with a whole bunch of tin soldiers, and the first of the children you saw were in this space. It's the toy shop, or the workshop. And what you see when you kind of come to wakefulness is there is a child here, and he's about 12 years old, and you recognize him as one that just kind of disappeared when you were trying to go through this Loomlurch earlier on. And he seems to be cleaning up chunks of tin soldier that you guys have left behind. Meanwhile, Granny Nightshade is furiously working on something on the workshop shelf. And you're now coming back to consciousness. And she looks up to you. And she says, "Wakey, wakey. Turn your tongue yet?"
He looks up at her and he just doesn't say a word.
Roll me a perception check. Is that you there? Is that a 17 there for you?
What? No.
No, that was somebody else. Okay. Oh, a natural
there
20.
We go.
You're gonna see everything. Okay,
Nice.
so
Start out the day.
yeah, you get the sense, kind of looking around this space. You're now aware of some shadows moving around this space as well. Just from like one cabinet or one workshop table to another. And one shadow seems to just kind of... There isn't much on your person. You've kind of been disarmed, but you do notice a candle that is sitting on a table nearby you just kind of is pushed by a shadow across the table. And you just kind of hear this little... But while you're noticing that, you're also noticing what Granny is working on. Granny is working on this doll. It's a doll about this big, and she's currently trying to sew together. In particular, what she's trying to do is sew pink hair onto it in some form of a yarn. And she's actually just wrapping up doing so. So she and she kind of carries this over to you. Seems about right, don't you think?
Right for what?
Your friend. Pretty close, I should think.
In character, do I need to roll anything to know this is a voodoo doll?
Or
assume. Well, okay. Out of
roll a roll a history check. It's not a high DC.
Yeah, because I was like, I know what this is.
Yeah,
but I'm not 100% sure Elrad would know what this is.
That was the DC.
Cool.
So, pretty certain you've never seen voodoo in action. You've heard of it. You're a sailor.
The voodoo.
And she just kind of looks to you and says, I think it's missing something. I think it's missing... Oh, I remember this one. This is the one that can't do fire. And then she goes back over to the counter and she starts working on it again. I mean, it's either this or you could just simply tell me where Will is.
So you said there was a kid here, right?
Yes. Yeah, 12-year-old male.
What's
human
going on with them? Are they like just kind of like sitting there like scared or?
No, they seem quite comfortable, and they're actually doing some cleanup in the space. They're cleaning up the remnants of tin soldiers from this room. And they seem to be taking these tin soldiers out and just kind of dumping them out the windows towards that goblin market that you knew was there.
So what exactly did this Will do? Why do you want him so bad?
Well, he took all my employees. As you did, too.
You mean your slaves?
Slave's such a harsh word.
Is it wrong?
But yes.
Not exactly harsh, then.
And she takes this little flask, and it's got what seems to be this thick yellow liquid in it, and she just kind of drops a little drop on the forehead of this doll. And after having done so, she's there. That'll do the trick. And she walks over towards, and then she grabs another flask, dark green liquid, walks over towards you, says, "They're going to be compelled to come back. Simple as that. Just whether or not you're here, as to whether or not their trip back is going to be worth it. So what do you think? You think you'll be here?"
I think so.
Here's one way you can make sure of that. Where is the hideout of those brats?
Wish I
And she
knew.
by the way, her breath smells really bad, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was assumed. Wish I knew.
Well, and she starts pouring the green liquid over top of the head, and the pink yarn hair just starts sloughing off.
Look, I'm not good. Couldn't put it on a map, but it was. It was in the forest. I don't know much more than that.
Like a hut, like a hole in the ground.
Hut, yeah.
A hut. She just kind of walks away from you. The pink hair is now completely off of this doll. She slams it down onto the table and immediately exits out the door and just, hut, 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 and then just gone out of this room, leaving you behind with this kid. He kind of looks a little bit nervously at her as she's as she heads out. She's kind of pissed.
Never really guessed.
So, what were you even doing here in the first place? You're just trying to get everybody else out?
Exactly.
Why?
Do you enjoy it here?
She feeds us pretty good. I don't mind working the kitchen. The clothing shop's actually my best spot. Just kind of picks up the doll that has now got the hair hair missing, and just. Oh, I should get the next one ready. And he starts pulling out all sorts of materials that are used to create dolls and creatures. So I'm gonna kind of take some of the role play out and just go. What would Elrad try to be trying to do over the next little bit? Oh, and did I lose Elrad? I lost Elrad. Go figure. His technology. So that explains at least a little bit.
A voodoo doll.
Granny Nightshade is on Dottie's hit list.
I just got a message from him. Internet just cut out. So he'll get a chance to think a little bit about what else he's going to do during that time that he is there. But you guys are...
So
fast forward into the future. We're going to write this like a John Grisham novel. Here we go.
yeah. Here's what I want to know. Which towers have we been in?
You have now been in all 3? Hang on.
Have we? I think we haven't
nope.
been in one.
1, 2, and 3. Yes. So the first tower that you were in, it had a whole bunch of little miniature dollhouse kind of things in it, and the top level of it had the bedrooms, and that's actually where you met. Well, you met a number of the kids that were in there, including that sick dwarf.
Yes, and then we went to the one with the bird poop.
Yeah, that was the one that you did most recently. But while you guys were out there, the one that you killed, if you guys remember that one creature that was back at the carnival, the girl in the mirrors, you chased her down, or no, you ended up killing her, I should say, in the textile shop, which was the top of the middle tower. And there were some tin soldiers you also dispatched there. You protected some kids. And in fact, it was coming down from that tower where you first ran into Granny Nightshade. She was waiting for you at the bottom after you were done your battle.
So did any of them seem like a place where she would keep stuff?
The best place where she would keep stuff, based off of what you guys saw, particularly because you found Scraggs's holy symbol there. That's probably where she would have kept the smaller stuff. And come to think of it, with that 22 perception check that Elrad had, you will have actually noticed that in one corner of this workshop space seems to be stacked a pile of things, and you can see sticking out of this pile of things the red brand that Agden Longscarf once had. Not much. I was going to give you a chance to say... The textile shop. Right, so he just ended up from there saying, that reminds me, and he started working on some doll materials. But you are in a chair, bound to this chair in the corner, feet tied back underneath the legs, and onto the legs of the chair, for that matter, too. Arms behind the back of the chair. And now you get to tell me, what would Elrad be trying to do over the course of the next little bit, because this kid's going to largely ignore you now. With a natural 20, I'm going to say yes. What Elrad would get the sense of is that all of your materials have been kept here. In fact, actually, the only thing that they were concerned about, and maybe while you were unconscious, it took them a little bit longer to make a doll of Dottie, was that they didn't procure anything of Dottie's, just her hair. So they're maybe using it as a reference for making dolls. You could roll a strength check to try to find out. I'll go with athletics. I'm good with that. You gotta flex some muscle to try to...
Oh, crack.
Alright.
He's gonna solo the entire place.
Yeah, so that's a 26. And so the kid, you do this odd little lift, and you can actually flex your calf muscles in such a way that you're actually able to get your weight towards the kind of almost centered for you, and you do just look up, and you do this large jump and land on it, and you can feel the front legs buckle underneath, and you're able to pull your legs free, and just as you're doing that and finishing the rest of the damage to the chair, the kid looks up and is just, hey, 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 and just runs out towards the door. And it's like, bones, 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 bones. Oh, okay. Bones, 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 bones. And as you get the last vestiges of the chair off, he comes back in, and count 2 beats, and suddenly what this appears to be this skeleton covered in caked mud and dirt comes dripping out of its jaw, just crackles its way in, and then another, and then another, and then another, and they've all got some sort of weapon, a quarterstaff, a spear, or something along those lines, and they're all running in. Yeah, and they all just kind of come in, and they look, and they just kind of take their quarterstaffs or spears or whatever they've got, and they just point it at you, and the kid says, sit. With this lineup of around 10 skeletons in front of you. Here, I'll pull them in. Absolutely. There's one. Let's bring them in. They'll come in. See if it'll actually let me paste these. It will. 1, 2, 3. 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, and they just file in like this. And the kid kind of stands here. Yeah, there you go. That'll work. Now, Granny's not here anymore, so I'll get rid of her. No, that's not how to get rid of her. That was the wrong way. Okay. Ah, I did it again. There, that's better. You don't have much of anything. You have your fists. And whatever else dragonkind history gave you. And you still only have 1 hit point because you haven't had long rest yet. And so all your lay on hands stuff is gone. All your, they're 20 foot squares. Or 20? No, sorry, 10. 10 foot squares, 10 by 10. Mm-hmm. If you want to get as many as you can, you need to get right up on them, particularly the bottom one. I mean, you know what? I'll give you 5 feet of space, but you do need to be like right in their faces to do it. That would be where I would put you if you wanted your 15-foot cone to connect with all of them. For sure, absolutely, yeah. All right, let's roll some initiative because they're gonna already be prepared. Let's see if we can do this. All right. Chunk, there's mine. Yours is better. Oh no, hang on. Yeah, mine is better. So mine is gonna go first. As soon as you start moving forward, you're gonna have a whole bunch of skeletons coming at you. Let me find my skeleton stat block. Because I wasn't expecting you to try to take on 10. Yeah. Yeah. Skeleton. So I got quarterstaffs and I got spears, so I'm going to just alternate between them. None of them are actually in this list. Go figure. Hang on.
I mean, you can just say he's down.
Yeah, we're going to do this out properly, though. Let's see. You know, I'm just going to have to roll d20s plus 4. So let's just get back here then, because this is just going to be silly. D20. Ding, add 4 to that. First hit, you're going to be down. So one of these skeletons that you are actually, while you're going at those skeletons, this is the one that starts moving forward and just gives you a solid swack with a quarterstaff to the side of the head. And
you at least get a short rest? Like,
no,
get some hit die?
There was nothing.
Oh, right.
That's the end of that one for a bit. I am going to do a fast forward again. This time, yeah, that's where we're going to put you instead. So we're going to keep the kid here. And we're going to take all these guys back out. Done. Okay, so roll a d4. 4. Yeah. Not bad. Okay. This will work out quite nicely. So when you get back, Granny Nightshade is back and has been working at the table again. And you're now noticing that there seems this particular doll has a longer cloak, it's about the same size as the other doll was, but it's got a large dark cloak on it, and you can see that its nose seems to be somewhat elongated. When you wake up, this is what you're able to see, and the back of your head just throbs with pain. The room is much cleaner right now, though. And the kid is still there. And she says, as she's kind of working on this one, still missing something important. Looks up to you. That was stupid. And walks over to you. What's missing? I can't get it to do things. What's missing? You would get a sense that it might be of Scrags. Just slams it on the table and pulls out a different doll. And then she looks at it. Oh, I know. And she steps out into the garden. The kid is just kind of looking, kind of standing beside the desk, kind of looking at you as she steps out. Like, now, you are now aware of your surroundings. You're not tied to a chair this time. This time, you are tied, hands well behind your head, around a log, and your feet are tied to the same log. So you are basically stretched as far out as you can, and very uncomfortably. And you look just like, and it's like, I kind of think that's the point. The latter half. I don't know about you getting out of it. I think she wants them back here. I'm not. You should be worried about your own. Gross. And as he says that, you hear some voices off in the distance. Ah! Granny! Fire! 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 And the kid just kind of looks and just kind of runs out the door as well. You are now left in this room by yourself. You hear clamor and noise outside as something seems to be happening outside of the building, outside of the tree. Gonna try and do anything with this empty space, or you just kind of lay there? It's gonna be a lot harder, that's for sure. All right, roll your D. Well, don't roll your athletics check. $15. It takes you a little bit, but you're able to roll yourself over, and it hurts every time because you have to roll over your hands to do it. But you're able to roll yourself out into the middle of the room a little bit more, so you do have a bit more space to try to do something. And then you get yourself to a point where you feel like you could potentially just go for another athletics check. Or you have a time to try it. Yeah, you're fighting to try to get your hands out in just the right way, and it's just you're having you feel like it's possible, like you could potentially do it. You just don't have the right angle. Just don't have the right angle.
Don't you have claws and?
I'm gonna get you to pause. Yeah, I'm gonna get you to think. Pause there
Lightning
for
breath?
just a brief moment. There, we're gonna switch back to you in a second.
Oh well.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you to just kind of think a little bit about what you're gonna do. We're gonna shift back to the people who are out in the forest. We got Scraggs, we got Dottie, and we got Aravis all out in the forest. And you think you've laid down a distraction enough. But you were hoping it would have lasted a lot longer. Especially considering the forest fire you did before.
When the fire goes out, can I like scout forward and look at what's going on?
Sure, roll me a perception check.
Okay. Oh, I have a short bow. What the heck?
Natural 20! Holy crap, there's a lot of nat 20s today.
Nice.
I am not arguing because most of them are yours. So yeah, you get to the edge and you can see just at the very end, like there's, you see Slackjaw, but you now also see Granny Nightshade. And Granny Nightshade has just got this shovel and she's just kind of shoveling dirt out. But as she's doing it, Blightstraw, Slackjaw is seemingly creating water to turn the dirt into mud and just caking what was lit on fire with this mud. So the two of them are actually working together pretty well right now.
And that's what put out the fire?
That's what put out the fire for sure.
Well, if I keep setting it on fire, we keep them working.
I'm going to try. Let's see what I have. I did have 2 flasks of oil, so that means I have 1. I'm going to. I have a tinderbox. I have string. Okay, that's good. What is string? How much is that?
It's like 10
How
feet.
All right. I'm going to grab my quiver of arrows. I have 20 arrows. I'm going to take an arrow, wrap string around it, dip it in the oil, and start firing them lit into the trees, into the treetops.
Oh, okay.
And repositioning every time.
And so you're lighting them on fire yourself. You're just going to basically be throwing out fiery arrows and just lobbing them out there, are you?
Yeah, and I'm getting rid of every single arrow. I mean, I'm getting rid of my arrows. I'm getting rid of my oil. I'm getting rid of my string, all of it.
Okay, then I want you to roll for me. Let's make it it's not a high DC. I'm going to get you to roll an attack with your short bow.
Okay.
And this will mostly be to determine if you can get it to hit things on the trees that you feel like are going to light much more easily.
23.
And with a 23, you have no problems hitting targets that are going to light a blaze. It takes a little while for the wick that you have created because, of course, when the arrow flies, the wind kind of blows a little bit of the flame. But it's just enough heat to keep that wick going because of the oil. And so it takes a little bit before it actually finally catches. But as they're just, the other two are just kind of finishing things up, and they look up and they can see little spouts of smoke coming from the tops of the trees. And Granny just lets out this beller and turns it and goes to the shrooms and just yells at them, "After them!" You can see now that with your vision from this far away with perception, that she's remember the Granny's got this clockwork thing in her back, and it's not even it's not moving at all at this point in time. It was slowly spinning at one point in time. It is not moving at all, and a whole bunch of these little red mushrooms that you guys got close to all spring up out of the ground. And what you see there seem to be smaller versions of, they look like goblins, but they don't look like goblins. They look quite a bit more feral, we'll say. And they
What does a goblin look like?
All right, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
And they get up and they just start booking it into the forest after kind of getting the direction from Granny Nightshade. And she immediately runs back to the other side. You have a couple of moments, Elrad. They're still distracted. You do get it. You do get one more try. So you kind of listen around and you hear this beller from outside. Okay, I got enough time. And you find yourself on your way over to a stool. You kind of give the stool a bit of a nudge in one of your rolls and you knock it over. And then with one mighty ab crunch.
Nice.
Yeah, you're able to lift yourself off just enough that you can actually get yourself propped up against the stool. And this is taking effort. As you snap the tree back behind you, and you can feel your the spikes on your back just kind of dig into the tree to do it, and it fucking hurts. But everything fucking hurts right now, honestly. As you finish that off, the kid comes running in one door, and the door that the skeletons originally came in, and pays you no attention as they come running. I don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing with the token. Comes running through the room again, and just goes into another door. No, just like running from one room to the next, forgetting that you're even there. Sure. Okay. That's going to take a little bit, but certainly. You can now sit yourself up. You are now immediately beside your equipment and that door. So you can also don your stuff if you wanted to while you're waiting. Okay. So you're slowly doing that and listening for anything that's out. And what you're noticing is that there is no sound from this other room on the other side. What you see here is it's almost as if the voices are above you and in the spaces outside of this room around the tree. Dottie, Scraggs, and Aravis, you now look back towards the tree, and particularly the middle, all the tops of the towers, actually, I should say, all of the leaves have caught ablaze. And Loom Lurch looks like 3 massive torches. Elrad, you don't see that, though. One of them is starting to get a little bit doused. You get the sense that chances are somebody is able to do some work on this fire, but there's still 2 torches that are just going. What are you guys gonna do?
I'll lob one final scorching ray as we start running.
Roll an attack. If you roll higher than a 20, I'm going to make you hit something else.
Ah, that's terrifying.
Are you gonna surge or
Yeah, I'm gonna wild magic surge. Why not?
chaos?
Let's do it. Let's do it. We're here for it. Nice.
Oh, she
Oh,
didn't even
24s
need
anyway.
it.
So let's roll that chaos.
Okay. Oh, fuck. That's
Okay.
on brand.
What's your
Okay,
what's your spell DC?
My spell DC, I think it's either 14. It's 15.
What does she roll?
Confusion. Each creature in a 10-foot radius sphere centered on a point you choose within range must succeed. I'm going to say you're all there. So, all three of you, I need you guys to roll a... Actually, no, I don't think it affects you. So, Aravis and Scrags, roll for me a
I'm so
wisdom
sorry.
saving throw.
Oops.
Oops.
Hold up, let me see something. I'm a Fae, or not Fae, an elf.
No!
Holy crap, your nat 1 is still a really decent roll as far as nat 1s go. Okay,
Yeah.
both of you need to roll for me a d10 now, please.
9.
Okay,
What does 9 do?
okay.
Another one.
Scrags, I need you to roll for me a d8 now, please.
Oh, come on.
Actually, hang on. Don't worry about that. I got a tool for that.
4.
Oh, you
A
did it? All right,
4.
okay. Hang tight. Let me look at my tool then. I have a tool for these things. Where's my tool? Right there. Okay. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's
Shouldn't
not
have
bad.
said-
Okay. That's not bad. It could have been far worse.
What was it?
Aravis.
Yes.
As she does her last shot, you listen to see what it hits, because from the distance that you're at, listening is going to be a much better marker. Does it hit tree leaf? Does it hit a solid wood? And what it actually hits sounds a little bit more fleshy. And you hear a screech from a voice that you know all too well.
Oh
Slackjaw.
no.
Oh, shit.
And I need to roll your damage on that, please. Oh, you did roll your damage, didn't
Better
you?
one.
Yeah, roll your damage on that scorching ray for me, please. Nice. Okay, cool. And yeah, she just... And then as she screeches that out, you feel your muscles start to kind of lock up. And just... Your hand goes...
You cast confusion on yourself. Does that mean she can drop it?
No, not this time, because it's wild magic.
Are
And
you
you
doing
start-
the Macarena?
I don't know, I guess.
Your muscles are fighting into this strange routine in front of you. And you
Just jazz
drop your
handing.
bow. And you just keep on moving. While this happens, your eyes are wildly moving around like, what the heck's going on with my body? And Scrags is running away. Straight to the southeast, away
Yay.
from Loomlurch.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
if
good.
it's away from Loomlurch.
Get going. I don't know if I can speak.
You have enough control over your muscles that the problem is your voice doesn't sound like yours. It actually sounds like you're trying to talk like this because all of your muscles have changed. They're just not moving normally.
Oh, golly. So am I like able to control myself or not?
You are able to go places. It's just that you're always doing something unusual while doing it. And this lasts for how long?
I think a minute.
Yeah, it is a minute.
If
It
it's
is a minute.
okay, I'll try to guide Aravis and try to help him out of the forest.
For sure.
Need to get going, and I'll double dash. I'm running.
Okay, so as he's running, he's got this strange, robotic Jack Sparrow kind of run that he's doing.
That is very fitting for this game.
All right, so Elrad, you do hear eventually this some stomps coming down the stairs. Prepare yourself. And the door opens. And sure enough, it is that child. You can easily grapple him. Roll me an attack if you want to do that. Or roll me an athletics check if you want to do that. Did I put myself... I don't know what I did with that, but that's okay. Oh yeah, I can't roll that high. Yeah, so he, you're easily able to just like basically clothesline him under the arms and then capture him, and you just kind of hold him in. You've now got him very well grappled. Oh yeah, actually, the Dottie doll.
Yeah, that's gonna not feel good for Dottie.
Why do I feel like I'm getting bitten all of a sudden?
It's not actually going through to you. It takes a little bit of well, it's not magic. It's a feature of Granny Nightshade, but it does take something special to actually activate it. Yeah. Yep. So you can easily do that. You're tying this kid, and as you're trying to get his mouth, but it's a fire. What are you doing? You now have this sausage roll on your shoulder, okay? Okay. Yeah.
Does he perhaps see
For
a
sure.
a horn by any chance?
Yeah.
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 A unicorn horn?
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking like no. He doesn't see that.
Dang. Apparently, there's randomly a horn.
Okay, I need you to tell me which way you think you're going to run out, because it's gonna matter. Okay, so you have no problems with grappling this creature or this kid and running out the door with him and all your stuff. You kind of have him all hooked on. You might be slightly concerned that a dagger is actually kind of the hilt of the dagger is actually kind of jamming into the hip, or actually into the hip of the kid as you're bouncing. But you don't care right now. You got to get out.
Did you find any magic potions?
Not there, no. I mean, there's lots there available if you want to try and grab something. Real quick. It would be a perception check if you want to do that, Elrad.
I'm putting too much into this.
Yeah, that's it. That checks. Okay. So you are able to get out of that southwest corner of this building, and of course you do see the pathway, the bridge across this very dry creek bed, unencumbered with the exception of the remnants. Oh no, actually, you guys dumped the goblin body. So you're able to just kind of go straight across this bridge, and on the other side of the bridge, forest out in front of you. Roll me a perception check all the same. Just Elrad rolling it, yeah. Yeah, you haven't been outside the building yet, so you haven't had a chance to see what's going on around you. Alright, so what you see, you look back, and you see the trees are on fire. Loom Lurch is on fire, but what you also see are two shapes floating out towards the forest to the east. One of them riding a rocking horse, another one riding what seems to be a flattened lily pad, both flying out into the forest. And now we're onto a chase sequence. Well, now we're onto a chase sequence. Oh, two creatures flying off towards the east forest. One of them is riding a rocking horse, and the other one is riding a lily pad. Right. You totally see the fire. Like, you can see that Loom Lurch is on fire. You see these two creatures flying away from the fire. And I'm going to say that you will notice the trajectory. They're not going just straight up and away. They're actually diving down towards the forest. All right. So, let's see here. Yeah, kinda. I will let you do a survival check to see if you can find your way back to Will's place, though. Sure. That would be Arcana. I will let you go with survival or Arcana on that. Okay. Tough. It's really tough to tell. Whatever it was, the source is definitely inside the fire now, so it's tough to tell. What the fire you see right now seems pretty darn natural, orange and red and yellows, but what started it, tough to tell.
Sorry that I interrupt. Can I say that Dottie has been every once in a while trying the message spell to see if Elrad's within 100 feet?
Sure. Okay. Yeah, okay. We'll just keep that. I'll keep that rolling as you just keep on trying it.
Okay.
Elrad, roll for me a survival check. See if you can figure out how to get back to Will's. Okay, so with a 15, you're able to get into the trees, take a pause with this wriggling sausage roll on your shoulders, look out and realize the way back to Will's was where those two things just went flying. Sort of. You have to go like you'd cross paths. So you choose. Do you choose to stay and wait it out, let them kind of go past before you start making your way behind them? Or are you just gonna go? Okay. All right. So as you're waiting, you'll wait for a little bit to put the kid down so that you can capture your breath for a couple of moments. I'm going to say you're going to get a short rest in here while this next chase sequence happens for the other three. All right. So, chase sequence. This is going to be a variety of acrobatics and athletics checks. Mostly. Unless you can convince me. Actually, let's do it this way. I want you to tell me what you're going to try to do to try to escape these two hags that are definitely giving you pursuit. And I want you to tell me, then I will tell you what check is required for it. So we'll start off with, let's go alphabetical. Let's go Scrags. All right. Scrags, if you're trying to escape these two creatures, which you clearly see giving you chase, what's the strategy you would most likely use?
I would try to duck in behind something, and then I would use disguise self and change myself into maybe one of the mushrooms.
Sure.
Oh, I did. Did I see the mushrooms? I never saw the
Uh,
mushrooms.
There's you have to be specific about which kinds of mushrooms because there were some in the garden. There was the circle of red capped mushrooms that you guys were kind of avoiding beside Loom Lurch, and then there was the mushrooms you saw a couple of days ago that were dancing and that Erebus danced with.
Oh, the red cap mushrooms.
Okay, cool. Roll for me a deception check then, please.
I don't suppose I have any sort of
With advantage.
advantage.
Yeah, because you're casting the spell. So go ahead and do it with advantage. Okay, so that's one. That's good. That's better. The advantage was helpful. Okay. I'll come back to you in a second. Dottie.
Okay, Dottie's going to try to use
I didn't. This isn't alphabetical at all, but whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I was going Carney.
Alphabetically.
I was gonna go
get
Carney
skipped?
and then Dottie and then Erebus, and then I realized, wait a second, it's supposed to be Carney, Abby, and whatever.
He's a band teacher, not an English.
I count to
teacher.
4 repeatedly. Okay, all right. So go ahead, Dottie.
So, Dottie is going to try to use her nimble, like halfling nature to kind of weave in and out of trees and just be as chaotic with the pattern as possible.
Okay, roll me an acrobatics check then, please.
Awesome.
Okie doke. We'll go to Erebus then. Tell me what you would do.
Erebus would run for a bit, find a if he's near a river. If he's near a gully. Just something he could dive into and hide, like something he like unexpected. All of a sudden, he's just gone. You know, like whether that's
Okay.
a tree hollow, whatever.
Sure. Roll me a stealth check.
All right, I still have the blessing of the trickster. I think I'm not sure, but I think he can. If he was unconscious and it was working, then I think it just works.
Yeah, I think you're good.
A time period.
Yeah.
What?
Okay. Was that with your blessing?
No, for some reason it didn't roll at advantage. I don't know. I had it marked. Anyway,
oh, there you go. Okay. All right. Okay, so you guys are running through the forest, and you hear this chittering and chattering distantly behind you, but above the trees. But what's more pressing to you is you do hear this rustle through the grass and leaves and brush behind you. I'm going to say you get the sense that they're only about 120 feet away, but they're giving you chase, and they definitely seem like they're starting to spread out behind you quite a bit. You don't know what this is, but there is some sound giving chase to you. And so you guys start moving in your variety of directions. Scrags, you quickly duck behind a tree, switch yourself into a much smaller version of something like kind of sort of you, but not, because it's wearing a red mushroom-like cap instead. And meanwhile, then after you do that, you start running again and looking around to see if you could figure out where any of your party is. Erebus is just gone. No clue where they are. But you watch as Dottie just trips over a root in front of you, gets back up, and starts just kind of like, and then just keeps on running. And as she starts running, and you are kind of in a little, actually, she's slower. She's the one that's slower. So you're able to kind of catch up pace with her. And everybody roll for me a perception check. Just them, yeah. At this point, you're on your short rest for the moment, yeah.
Perception
We'll be fast
13.
with it. Okay. And Scraggs' perception coming up. There we go. Scraggs, you being the one that was able to pause for a moment while you were doing your disguise self, you look back and what you do see through the shadows of the trees behind you, it is late for that matter, so your dark vision is definitely helpful, but you do still see what appears to be faint colors of red hats, much like the one you just switched into. Just kind of pop up every once in a while and then back down underneath the grass, pop back up again as they seem to be closing the gap.
Closing the gap with me or with everyone?
Well, you don't know where Erebus is, but with you and Dottie for sure.
Dottie, you're screwed. You pretend to be my captive, okay?
Okay.
I have an idea.
Do it.
All right.
Because you could see them.
This is a stretch and a half. All right.
All right.
I'm gonna start trying to talk in and use my knowledge of this particular field. I'm gonna talk in what is it called? Dryad.
Oh, okay.
And say that the two flying creatures are starting fires in the woods.
Okay. The dice told me I have to do something.
All right.
Give me a moment. Okay. Great idea, by the way. So before I do this, even if this doesn't work out, you're gonna get DM inspiration for this because that's a brilliant idea. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Are you guys okay? So then you say that. Let's go with let's see here. Scraggs and Dottie, you're still running away, or Scraggs, are you capturing Dottie now?
I'm pretending to capture Dottie.
Okay, so you go. Go ahead. Sorry, carry on. I'm interrupted.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay, so you go to scramble and you kind of do this little jump onto Dottie's back. And Dottie, you fall forward because you rolled a 9.
Yeah.
So you now have, after a fashion, Dottie grappled in with some form of consent.
I am going to minor illusion handcuffs around Dottie.
Okay.
It says it's a fire. It's handcuffs around Dottie. Hands steady, and just tell her to walk ahead of me as I try to walk like a.
Okay. So as you do so, you now see probably about 60 feet away from you. You can actually now see these creatures. I'm going to say, 45 feet away from you. You now see what seems to be a small wall of just boop, 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 as these creatures are starting to close the gap on you. And you guys have stopped running, so they're going to be able to get to 15 feet of you. And as they get to that point, you can start to see them peeking through, and you can actually hear them now. All of them, all the way through. Just nothing but feral, snarling, looking like chihuahuas that don't realize they're not as big as they are.
I will fairly growl back at them. I'll thoroughly throw back at them. And then push Dottie ahead of me with my non-existent arms, my cat.
Okay. I'm going to get you to roll a deception check. And while you're rolling that, Erevis, a voice in your ear. I thought you were the only ones who started fires.
I'm going to say to her, give me a second. How would I say this? Sick tree must be burned, madam. But these ones consume the whole forest. Good and bad. All consuming. So I have to say, word travels fast.
Doesn't travel as fast as all that we've been watching.
Not much else to do. Listen, and listen well. These witches, I'll call,
Okay.
will not aid you and your kind. They only consume, and they'll chop your trees to make their toys.
Roll a persuasion check.
All right. So, DM inspiration. I'm gonna try again. 14.
Okay. Okay. And she's just gonna kind of look up, give you one look, give you a wink, and look up, and she's gonna mold into the tree and disappear. Meanwhile, these other creatures have now come back up to close the gap, and they see you snarling back at them, and they. She's not supposed to die. From one of them.
Run! Pitcher! Run!
And they start they're all kind of getting really close. And you get the sense fairly quickly that theirs is a mentality that says eat or sleep. Maybe poop sometimes too. But that is all. Meanwhile, Dottie, you don't understand any of the language that they're saying.
Your illusion.
Sorry, you cut out on me there. It's like you have a audio like filter or something like that, noise suppression thing. It's making it I can't hear you. Not better yet. I mean, I can hear you. It's just like garbledy-gook.
Hello.
There we go. Yeah. No, I'm still not able to hear you.
Hello.
Yeah, it's like you're talking through a tunnel.
Hello.
What are the chances? Are you using your earpiece, or are you using like a speakerphone instead? Yeah, I can't even hear your answer. Can you guys hear him?
No,
not really.
I get what
okay.
you're saying when. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
When you say it's a noise suppression thing.
Yeah.
Can I do something?
Yes. What are you thinking of doing?
So, they seem like pretty dumb creatures, right?
They seem like pretty angry. I'm hungry. I want to eat something. Creatures.
Okay. Well, I'm first of all going to let Scrags know I don't think this is gonna work. I think they're too dumb for this. But as we're trying to get out of there, I would say Dottie will cast dancing lights, but put it off in the distance and make it all flashy to try to gravitate their attention somewhere else in the forest.
Oh, that is wildly better. Sure. Which spell? We're getting dancing lights coming out here right now too. So, what are you planning on doing? Yeah, we got 8 of them. 8 of them? Is that how many I want? Sorry, 6 of them. She's just cast dancing lights and is trying to distract them.
To be clear, like, at a distance, because it's a range of 120 feet, so I'm trying to get them to think there's another lead somewhere else.
Sure, why don't you roll me a deception check? Sure. Yeah, deception.
I'm good at that.
To try to place them in places that make them look like something else.
20.
20, nice. Okay. So yeah, you're able to get them and just like they look like little will-o'-the-wisps in various spots of the forest, and you do capture the attention of a couple of them on either end, but there's still 2 that are kind of keeping track of the 2 of you guys, and they just kind of split off.
Okay.
And one of them has been like, cuts. Look at the other one, and they're just both gonna charge in.
Yeah, let's get out of there. Let's run. There's no use.
Oh no, you're rolling initiative. They're already within spot. They're all already within range. And Erevis, you're within range as well, by the way. You can see most of this kind of going down. You see the dancing lights off, 2 dancing lights off to your left, a couple of them more behind you and to the right. And you see there is one more, and you see that there's a couple of red caps. One of them almost just goes right by you, doesn't even notice you're there. But the other 2, but there are still 2, and they start launching at Dottie and Scrags. So here comes our initiative. Hang on, I need to get my token out here so I have something to work with. Chunk. Okay, cool. I'll have that now to work with. Okay. All right, and Erevis, roll initiative 2 if you want to get in on this, because you're close enough that you can.
Where is my token on this?
Or,
Oh, there it is. Sorry.
I think I haven't actually even cleared out initiative recently, have I? Nope, I haven't. So,
You know,
wow, I really haven't.
I have a +8 to initiative. You'd think I'd roll good once in a while.
Okay, so Dottie, you're at 23. Scrags, you're actually at a 3. And there's that. And then it's like just not in it. Erevis got a 15. And then all these other things don't need to be in here. Okay, cool. Why did that 3 not take? There we go. All right, so Dottie, they're coming at you.
Okay, I'm going to... You said there's 2 of them, right?
Yep.
I would like to cast Fire Bolt, but use a sorcery point to twin spell and hit both of them.
Let's make it happen.
And
This is all Theater of the Mind, by the way, no map.
I will Tides of Chaos anything I need to.
Interesting, okay.
I just
Roll
want to
your
get it
attack.
over with. 18 for
That
the first
hits.
one. And then 13 for
I'm
the
gonna have
second one.
You'll want to tides that one.
It's already tides with the 10 on the side.
Okay, well then I want you to roll for me your hit. What's your damage dice, please, first?
7 for the first one.
Nice. Okay. I will keep track of this over here. So, okay, cool. That works. And yeah, roll me your chaos.
Okay.
Oh, interesting. You swear as you launch those bolts that a tree about 20 feet away from you kind of shimmers, and then it's just a normal tree. You swear it shimmered for a moment.
Okay.
That brings us to my dudes, and they're short. They're like itty bitty little guys, but they have these big old clomping iron boots as they come running up to you, and one of them gives you a solid swift kick to your ankles, Dottie, and it's shorter than you, and that's saying something. So, I need you to give me a dexterity saving throw, please. Oh yeah, no. So this, you feel your leg break underneath you as it kicks you in the side of the leg, and you fall to the ground prone. 21 points of bludgeoning damage to you.
Damn.
Holy crap.
Would shield have done anything, or I'm assuming no?
No, this is a dexterity. You had to dodge it. Yeah, this is different than that kind of thing.
Okay.
The other one comes swinging at you, and it's going to make some wicked sickle attacks at you, Scrags. And just you are not wearing armor yet. So this is what's your AC without your armor? All right, so all three of these are going to hit you then. That is 16, 20, 28 points of damage, of slashing damage. As these two... No, Elrad has it all. But Elrad's in a different section of the forest right now. That does bring us to you, Erebus.
All right. So they're both engaged with my allies. All right.
Yes, they are.
I'm going to run up to one and try and hit it with my dagger.
Go for it.
Booming
This is the
blade.
one that got smacked already. Booming blade. Nice. Okay.
Now, booming blade doesn't actually make sound, but I don't know why it's called booming blade.
It's called booming blade because it does make sound if they move.
Like, it doesn't really...
Hang on. Booming blade. On a hit, target suffers sheet of booming energy. If the target willingly moves, then it immediately takes its thunder damage. So there is a sound that goes with that.
Right.
That doesn't hit.
What? Did I... Booming
You
blade
rolled
isn't
an
an
11.
attack.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I guess it's the same thing.
Yeah, so roll your attack then. Yeah, roll your
it's got
attack.
a plus. All right, I'll do the dagger.
Yeah, okay. So, and sneak attack in 7, so you've got 16 points of damage on this guy. He's small, but he seems to be hardy. Like, you feel it's thick to go through him.
Yeah.
Um,
Red caps. Not something level 4 should be fighting without their whole team. I'm going to, because of my fancy footwork, he's not going to get an up attack. I'm going to pull both of my teammates away if I can.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me An athletics check real quick. Okay.
11.
Okay. It's harder because Dottie's got a broken leg now. Dottie,
Alright.
that means your movement is going to be halved, by the way.
Okay.
I'm going to try and pull him away just a little bit and then drop Scrags and then pick up Dottie and use the rest of my movement to sprint away.
Okie doke.
Like dash and everything.
Fair enough. Sounds good. Scrags, it is your turn. Awesome. It's moves. Okay. That brings us to you, Dottie. You're being carried out.
Yeah, so I'll just use...
Actually,
Can I
before
just
you do
take the
this-
help action?
Before you do this, and before you get your short rest in, Elrad, you can hear a commotion in the forest a good distance away, but off to the east, off to the right. Go ahead, Dottie.
I would just like to do the help action just in case Erebus needs to make any rolls as we're trying to get out of here.
Sure, you're gonna have to describe how you're helping, but I'm here for it. Okay.
I will just try to be as light and easy to carry as possible, and I will try to be looking out and just keeping eyes on everything.
Sure. Okay. So roll me a perception check then
Okay.
while you're doing that.
13.
You're pretty certain a couple of these trees are still shimmering.
Okay.
All
The
right.
trees are weird. And then that's me.
Perfect. And these two red caps are gonna go now at no, they actually both got confused. They're both going at your duplicate. And so they go to hit and kick and swing and things at it. And they're like, ah! And they turn or look around and they see you and they start giving chase to you guys again. You bought yourself a free movement out of the way. Erebus, you're still carrying Dottie.
I'm going to put her over my shoulder and keep running.
Sorry, hang on. You did Booming Blade.
Yes.
Roll a d8. Roll a d8 first for me, please. That's all right. Every point counts. Okay, now go ahead.
I'm going to put her over my shoulder and say to her, if you have any way not to do fire, now would be the time.
Not to do fire?
No fire.
No fire. Oh god. I do not have no fire.
All right.
Then just
And-
chill,
and are you-
and I'll do double dash, while also just under my breath, almost praying in Druidic.
All right. So you are now comfortably 120 feet away from any danger because you're double dashing so
I'm
much
not
so often.
half movement with her. I guess she is small.
Well, double dash. What is it that gives you double dash anyway?
I can dash as my bonus action, and dash as my action.
Yeah, so that would be why you're that far away, because you can just go. Like, you've got speed. And so you're now a good solid distance away. Scrags, on the other hand, is still within 30 feet of them. So you just kind of, like, left Scrags behind. Scrags, it's your turn.
Go.
Yeah. What would you change into? Oh, you can't do that. You'll have to hold on to that for the next turn. Because you already used your dash action. Yeah. Sounds good. Dottie. It's your turn. You're doing nothing but keeping a watch. You totally see the bottoms of the trees start to kind of shift and shake. And you hear, like, the same kind of sound that Agden made when somebody tugged on his long scarf. Something seems to have captured somebody around their throat.
Interesting.
But you're 120 feet away and it's dark.
Okay. How far away are the red caps from us now?
About 120 feet is, you get the sense, but you can't see them.
I can't see them. Okay.
By the way, your dancing lights have all been snuffed out by now.
Yeah, I figured. That's fine. Oh god. I don't want to draw any unnecessary attention to us. So, I don't want to shoot behind blindly. I'll try to send dancing lights out again, but in a different direction. Try to confuse them a little bit.
All right. As you do so, you hear from above you. There!
Oh god.
But at the end of your turn, it's suddenly quiet. Erebus, it's already your turn. And actually, we're going to come out of initiative because you can't hear any threats aside from the statement from above your head. There!
I'm going to take a second to turn and look for both Scrags and the person who said that.
Okay, roll perception. You're surprised to see Scrags laterally with you about 10 feet away from you. But what you notice now with that phrase, there, you look up to the sky with your dark vision and you can see a rocking horse and something on it coming at you. And I am actually going to stop us there. Because you got about 180 feet away from that rocking horse at this point.
I wonder what's happening at her place.
I know, right? But that's where we're going to pause it. And so, Elrad, for your part, you are all on your own. I am going to ask you, would all the commotion that you hear in the forest pull you aside? Or would you just stay back? Okay. Okay, so you're going to start making your way towards the commotion. You have not had your short rest. You're still good with that? Okay. All right, so we're going to start the next session with you kind of closing the distance on that, a little bit at a time. Sound good? All right. Well, there we are, guys.
Ooh.
That was a lot of stuff all over the place.
Sure.
And we'll be back on this again next week. Sound good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys very much, and thanks for people on Twitch for joining us. We hope you enjoyed, and see you guys all next week then.